Okay, let's dig more into this for more perspective on the state of the housing in the United States. We're joined by Pej Barlavi. He is the owner and CEO of Barlavi Realty. Pej, thanks very much for coming on. We certainly appreciate it. I want to kind of get right to it. How does the current state of U.S. housing compare to 2 years ago, before the FOMC started its systematic process of bumping up interest rates over the past 10, 12 months now that have gone up significantly?
Yes, they did. In 2020, the average home sale was around 300,000. In the peak of 2020, the beginning of 2022, we hit almost 430,000. That was nearly a 50% increase. The first quarter of 2021, we're at about 375,000. So we're still up about nearly 20-something% over 2020.
That's significant. That is significant. And we read these stories that a lot of people are fleeing large metropolitan areas, perhaps looking for cheaper rates somewhere else, less expensive housing somewhere else. What is the current state of the U.S. housing market? How would you characterize it if it was a patient?
It's still pretty good. I mean, inventory is moving. There's a shortage of inventory. Prices haven't really dropped that much. A lot of brokers and real estate agents were expecting a nice correction in the housing market, especially in the bigger markets like New York City, Los Angeles. And that really didn't happen so much. It maintained, it dropped a little bit, about 4 or 5%. But nothing as a lot of people were expecting or hoping.
Let's talk more about interest rates and how that is affecting the housing market. It has to be putting a damper on to a certain degree. I mean, if you could get something at 2% 2 years ago, and now you're looking at more than 6%, that's a significant amount of money. Secondly, also the way people would look to single-family dwellings as opposed to condos. I've read a lot of people, because of the pandemic, just don't want to share walls with people right now.
It's very big. If you're in a condo, the #1 requirement is outdoor space, balcony, roof deck, terrace, lanais. But otherwise, I mean, that's the major driving factor for a lot of people, not just the sharing of space. Condominiums, co-ops, they tend to be also a bit smaller in size. So the pandemic really made a lot of people realize they want the outdoor space and the privacy and the space just to be, if you got a family of 4, they're all living under 1,000-square-foot condo for a 2-bedroom, and they move into a 2,000-square-foot 2-bedroom home, it's a big difference for a family of 4.
Who's got the upper hand right now, buyers or sellers?
It's equal. It really is. Every market has a favorability to the buyers and a favorability to the sellers. If you're working with the right agent or real estate broker, they should be able to find you or sell your home at a reasonable price, or buy you at a good price. Every market really has its good purchases and off markets.
Okay, let's talk about inflation too. It went up dramatically, and I read a report just out today that some financial analysts believe it could go down just as quickly. What are we looking for in the home market in terms of purchasing homes, selling homes in the next 12 to 15 months?
Well, it'll be nice to see the interest rates come down, but otherwise we need inventory. There's really a lack of inventory, and that's what's driving up or maintaining the prices as high as they are. You have institutional purchases, a lot of hedge funds, a lot of investment bankers, investment banking portfolios are buying homes by the dozens. And this permanently removes and takes these homes off the market for good, because they will always get traded in between funds themselves. So rarely you're going to see these homes make it back in the market. So there's a huge inventory, there's a lack of inventory throughout the country. And then on top of it, you still have lack of supplies. So a lot of the home builders stopped building in the middle of 2022. and it's catching up to us now.
Okay, Pej,
Inventory.
before we came to you, we did a story on people renting, struggling to make ends meet if they've lost a job or if they decided just to leave their job or whatever. What is it like now for people who are trying to rent a place to live? How difficult?
It's high. Rents are still pretty high. Again, there is very little inventory. A lot of people that were able to maintain their rent, they stayed. The landlords that were not getting their rents and now they went through the process of eviction, they want to make up that money, that difference. So the rents are going up or maintaining what it was pre-pandemic, or it's higher than it was pre-pandemic. But then you have some markets that are still pretty soft. Las Vegas was down. I can't believe it. 1%. The rent was down about 1%.
Okay.
So there are markets that are still pretty good.
Thank you very much for this insight. I am a little concerned about the funds dipping in and buying homes. You think back to 2008, but that's a story for another time. We'll come back and revisit that. As always,
yeah, it's going to be very interesting. They're going to really put a dent in the real estate market. Be an eyeful of that one.
Interesting. Okay. As always, a pleasure. Thank you so much, Pej Barlavi, joining us via Skype.